For Pittwater.
Today, on National Domestic Violence Remembrance Day, I want to take this opportunity to speak up for those who have lost their lives to domestic and family violence, and also acknowledge those suffering for domestic violence, particularly in my electorate, and constituents who have also been let down by the system, some of whom I've met with recently. And also, of course, call on the New South Wales Government to do more, because we all must do more. This Remembrance Day serves as a stark reminder of the pervasive and devastating impact of such violence in our communities. In 2024, Australia witnessed the tragic loss of 78 women to gender-based violence, averaging one woman every 4 days. Alarmingly, 14 women have already been killed this year, and one such tragedy was the very recent murder of 19-year-old Audrey Griffin from Terrigal. Audrey, a vibrant young woman with aspirations to join the Navy, was found dead in Erina Creek. Her accused killer, Adrian Torrens, had documented history of domestic violence, including multiple breaches of apprehended violence orders. Despite these red flags, our system failed to prevent this tragedy. This cannot continue, and in my electorate, I know that Pittwater is not immune to this crisis. I've met with people recently and I'm meeting with someone on Friday as well who have been let down by the system. And recent statistics reveal that there's been a 20.9% increase in domestic violence-related assaults over the last 2 years in our area, the second highest rate in Sydney. Local support services such as the Northern Beaches Women's Shelter and Women and Children First, as well as the Women's Resilience Centre, report being overwhelmed, often operating at full capacity, and particularly Women and Children First and Northern Beaches Women's Shelter having to at times turn away victims due to resourcing constraints. We know about the prevalence of coercive control, and that despite a New South Wales parliamentary inquiry in 2020 and then subsequent legislative changes in 2022 to make coercive control a criminal offence, we have still experienced significant underreporting and prosecution of incidents of coercive control. I was shocked at the recent Bosco reporting, which showed that only 157 incidences had been prosecuted, when that's for the whole of New South Wales, and we know it is so much more prevalent. Of course, the New South Wales Government has acknowledged this crisis, is committing $230 million over 4 years to enhance domestic violence prevention support services, and including pathways to prevention strategies aiming to address the underlying causes of domestic, family and sexual violence. Additionally, $6.6 billion of investment in social housing and homelessness services has been announced, prioritising 50% new homes for women and children fleeing domestic violence. But despite these efforts, we need to do more. Just yesterday, I spoke with the Police Minister, who informed me that domestic violence incidents now comprise a huge 60% of general duties work for New South Wales Police. And this statistic underscores the extensive resources that are required to address this issue, and firmly show that we need to stop the culture of violence against women where it starts. We must educate our children, and we must create a culture of respect. I want to highlight two people in my electorate that have really put themselves out to put out the message, the simple message and very strong message to stop killing women. Ray Lawrence, who's a filmmaker, made Lantana actually, which many people will remember, realised he couldn't join a local protest against Stop Killing Women and decided instead to create his own single-man protest, I think accompanied by his child and grandchild, in Avalon, holding a sign asking for people who passed him to toot their horn and give recognition of respect. That made the local papers and is still remembered today, even though that was a little while ago. And also Amy Clark, who I've recognised in a community recognition statement as well, who's a local business owner who makes T-shirts that simply say, "Stop Killing Women." Those T-shirts have also been worn in Australia's Parliament House by some of the independents who represent Northern Beaches electorates at a federal level. I recently watched Adolescence and another TV series called Until I Kill You, which are harrowing watches. One of them, Until I Kill You, is based on a true story. It shows that people are being let down by the system, and we know this is the system from from how we bring up our children and the conversation needing around respect for women, but also systems abuse and, of course, the criminal justice system. On this day of remembrance, let us honour the lives lost by committing to tangible, urgent action.